As you know, lately we've been talking about female psychology a lot. I've been sitting here talking about it on my own. It's quite ironic sometimes. I have publicly claimed that I know female psychology better than 99% of women. I stand by that statement. I think women don't have the due diligence to really dissect into their own thought process and why. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's a lack of want and a lack of motivation to do so. As someone who indulges in like Latin culture a lot.
What means indulges?
Indulging, like to put myself into something. Like to indulge in something is to immerse yourself into it.
Okay, but you don't seem like a normal guy of UK.
What does a normal guy of the UK consist of?
They are so cold, like Europeans. I'm sorry, I like Europeans, I swear, but I think they are a little bit more cold than Latins. But you are not like that. You're a little bit Latin inside of you.
Why? What makes you say that?
Because you're funny, because you are not cold, you are...
But this isn't a cultural thing, this is an energy thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like no one in the UK is allowed to be funny.
But I know people from UK, I know people from a lot of parts of Albania, you know, and they are so cold. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's different in cultures. One of the biggest, to explain probably the biggest difference in Latin and European culture, in Europe, the priority is money. It's always money. Every European city runs on a economical scheme. I feel like in Latin America, the priority is like fun. Even though it's been horrible for me this year, I'm not gonna lie, I've really hated it from a personal standpoint, but it's been really interesting on a psychological standpoint because everything's like really going backwards. Like the guys are becoming weaker, the girls are becoming more deluded.
Yes.
And
yes.
You're so quick to jump on the guys are becoming weaker. Yes.
Yes. The thing is that I noticed that like nowadays guys are expecting that us for reach to them, you know. On Instagram, the way of flirting is the word is liking the stories, and they are waiting us to text them like, oh, he liked the story, so I have to text him, you know.
So listen, me personally, I teach guys how to attract women. I think it's the most efficient way of dating. I spent a lot of my life like chasing women, both on social media and physically. I loved it. It was like, it was exciting for me because I was really good at communicating and I was really good at talking to girls. I probably was not too dissimilar from the Latin guys you talk about. Like I love the art of, I can literally make this woman believe whatever I want her to believe because I'm so good at communicating and I've got green eyes. I can just, I can just throw around words and make sense of it. And then I kind of step back because this was like a journey from, I don't know, like 20 until 22 or even 21, like 19 to 21, whatever. And then I stepped back and I was like, so like what now? I chase this girl, I get her number, I take her on a date, I sleep with her, we sleep together for a week, we argue, we stop talking, and then on to the next. And it almost became a bit like tedious, you know, the game. I felt like I was becoming too good at the game.
And it's boring also.
Of course it's boring after a while when you understand like the energy is the most important thing and sleeping with the right people, etc., etc. So when I kind of found out that I was mastering a game that I was good at, meaning I was in a comfort zone, I asked myself, well, how can I do this more effortlessly? My work was becoming more of a priority. I was putting more and more hours into my work. So I was like, okay, I need to work 16 hours a day and I need to somehow date girls. Is this possible? And then I started setting super strict non-negotiables. I'm not going out to parties where everyone seems to like find girls. I'm not doing dating apps. There's certain things in my life that I'm not doing. I'm not dropping down to levels just for the sake of vagina. And I figured, even though my quantity in terms of the numbers was going down, because naturally when you chase, you're gonna get more quick and solid but useless results. When you invest more time in yourself, you actually can not only effortlessly attract women, but also do so without really putting like loads of time into it. So me as a man, I've got my future family to worry about. I've got my current family to worry about. I've got whatever women are going to be involved in my life, my employees, my friends, etc., etc. So if I'm building this empire, this needs 100% of my attention. But what if I can build this empire and simultaneously use the empire that I'm building to attract girls instead of presenting an empire, faking the empire, and manipulating girls into thinking that I have this empire that I don't have. So I started doing it and I started getting results in it. And then I started seeing and studying the psychology of women and then understanding more so that every characteristic that a man utilizes to build a strong and fruitful empire are the same characteristics that girls find desirable in a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I found that out, we can probably take this back to like a year and a half ago when I really cracked the code. I was like, bingo. My boys are literally every night, yo, let's go to the club. Let's spend like 6 hours in the club talking to girls and chasing.
But I think it's not the good place to go to look, you know.
It's not necessarily a bad place. You get what you're given, all right? So if you're going to look in a club, you're going to get a certain quality of females, and if it's the quality of females you're looking for, then that's what you're going to get. I personally don't enjoy the club, so I was wasting like 5-6 hours in an environment that I don't enjoy, just for the sake of like trying to chase a female. And for me, it was complete validation. It was like, yo, I will literally invest this 6 hours just to see if I can get a girl to sleep with me, and then 9 times out of 10 not even enjoy the sex, which is like, it's insane. When I say it now, it sounds so stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
But it's in the moment. It's what all us guys do.
I know a lot of people, a lot of men friends that keep doing that. So I know what you're saying.
This is what it is. It's some kind of numbers game competition, but because as men we talk to each other about it, we give it life, like we give it meaning. But if you just step back and look at it, it's like it doesn't really have meaning. I had the same thing with football, like when I was following football as a kid, all the way up until like last year. And I was super invested in that.
Football is like soccer, or football is football
don't insult my
with
country.
feet?
It's football with feet. That's why it's called football.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I followed it so much. Like, you know, in England, when you have a team, you're super dedicated to it. And it took me a long time just to step back and go, why am I actually watching this? Like, what does it actually do to my life? And it's a lot of how I project my life now, which is like logic. Everything has to be logical in my life. Everything has to make sense. And that was another thing that didn't make sense, as well as us guys going to the club. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, right? 2-3 times a year, I'll still go with my guys. Like, I'll give you an example. We was just in Miami, and I was like, listen, I'm dedicating this day just to scat the fuck out. Like, just to go and talk to loads of girls and waste time and pretend that I'm a degenerate. And it's fun, as I say, like 2-3 times a year. But guys doing it like
every single
let alone
weekend.
every weekend, like more than multiple numerous times a week.
In Ecuador, for me is like insane, because there all the day, like every single day, people drink alcohol. Like everything is an excuse to drink from Monday to Monday. So it's crazy, like how people have like fun just.
It's
like,
a coping mechanism, right?
Yeah, I don't like that.
And you have a story like of what we were just talking about, just quite ironic. I don't know how willing I am to share this, but it's too late now because I'm going to share it anyway. I was on holiday, I was in Mexico, and I was with 3 of my friends. 2 of them. No, I was with 3 of them. 2 of them went to the nightclub. Great story. They went to the nightclub, and I was sleeping, like 10 p.m., whatever. I'm like, yo, I'll sleep at 10, wake up at 5, work. So I was sleeping early. They brought 3 girls back to the apartment. I'm sleeping, they're making noise, they're playing music. I wake up, I kid you not, true story. I go out of my room. These girls are looking at me like, who's this like sexy man coming out in his boxers, like fucking sleeping. I looked homeless. I was like, yo, what the fuck you all doing? Get the fuck out. Anyway, I was awake then and there was 3 sexy girls in the house, so I wasn't going back to sleep. So I started talking to the girls a bit. It was just super ironic because I know these guys had been out for like 5-6 hours grafting, and just to get 3 girls back to the house. They got three girls back to the house like 3-4 a.m. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm awake now, cool. Anyway, in the end, I ended up sleeping with one of the girls. And neither of my friends ended up back in a chick. I swear to God. And the reason...
It's because you have confidence. I notice.
In this actual scenario, she was like super attracted to the fact that I went to sleep. She couldn't believe it. She was like to me, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you go out? I was like, what do you mean? I went to sleep. Like, I have work tomorrow. I have responsibilities. She's like, what? Responsibilities? Oh my God, you're so sexy. I love it. I love it when you use big vocabulary with me.
Honestly, you are not like the common, of guys. I noticed that you have discipline, you have responsibilities, you have metas. How do you say metas? Like
morals?
No,
like a vision.
Vision, yeah, of what you want on your life. So I promise that is very attractive, very attractive. More than money, more than like physically, more than talking a lot,
Why do you think that's attractive to you? See, this is where I indulge into women's psychology. I know why that's attractive to you, but a lot of women don't know. Like a lot of women will look at things and go, I see this and I like it.
Yeah, but you don't know why. Mm-hmm. Well, I have 23, but in my life, a little bit complicated and a lot of experiences. So what I want for a man is that mature, they know, they know what they want in their life. They know how to treat a girl, but that's another thing. They don't know how to treat girls.
But that's separate. That's not like something you can see from just a guy,
I can see it.
Listen, you can't see. Well, it goes against what you said earlier that a lot of guys love bomb and manipulate.
Yeah, but not like you are beautiful, It's like respectful.
Respectful in that he can like guide her and nurture her, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, guys can switch up.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to portray being a gentleman, and then I'd very easily like switch up on girls and become really like manipulative and not a very nice guy. So I'm like at a really happy point now where I'm super controlled, and like we spoke about earlier today, if people try and argue with me, it's very much like, yo, doors there. Something that you've just said about being on a mission means two things. First of all, if that I'm on a mission and I'm disciplined, that if you're with me, like you're also going in a good direction.
You will help me be a better person.
For sure. Also. An analogy that I always use is when a girl sees guys that has a lot of female attention, you think you like it because it's like competition and this, but the real reason you like it is because if a guy's got a lot of female attention,
it's because
he's probably doing something right.
Yeah.
So you can already know things about him without even having to ask him.
Yeah.
You don't have to interview him.
It's just the vibe.
His CV is the girls around him. So I always, it's crazy.
You know what?
You don't even see when we were in the gym today, the way that girl was looking at me. 100%, if I'm on my own, she's not looking at me the same. Because I'm with you in the gym, she's looking at me like a crazy way.
She was crazy. I noticed in her face. She was like this and like dancing and flirting with him, and I was like, bro, are you for real? But I understand, if you have like a good aura, that's why you attract girls also, because you are a good man and they don't know, but they feel it.
So you're talking about like levels of integrity as well, right? Like if you're a good person.
Yes. Also that you have like, that
good
you're
morals.
a good man.
So I find I've been a good man when I was a bad man, and I've also been a good man when I've been a really like wholesomely good man. And I mean, there's a difference between like a good man and being the bad guy, because I'm always prepared to be the bad guy. Like, and that's part of why women are attracted to me. Listen, if I can be the bad guy, and I can be the bad guy, because you can tell by my level of confidence and assertiveness that I can be the bad guy, you're gonna want to invest yourself more. And think about it like this: if you invest yourself more into me, like I know you've been with guys before that you don't even want to like do anything for. You just sit there and like a princess and whatever. You already know with me, we haven't even spoken about this. With me that's not gonna slide. Yeah. You know that like everything in my life is a certain way, it's very regimented, so there has to be some form of effort. And when you invest into something, you become more emotionally invested in something, which means you like it more, which means the cycle continues of you wanting to do more for it. It's like if you buy this plant you really, really like, and you have this plant that someone just kind of threw on your lawn and you don't care about. Like, if you really like a plant and you spend a lot of money on it, you're gonna water it a lot, you're gonna take care of it. You don't care, it's still a plant. The other one's still a plant as well, but the other one was just, gone there and it's there. It's the same way that if you have two plants and one needs a lot of watering and one doesn't, you're gonna water the one that needs a lot of watering. So if I don't need a lot of watering, if I'm with you from the start, I'm like, don't need anything from you, I'm here working, do whatever you want, here's my credit card, blah. Then you're like, okay, I'm not gonna invest any time and energy, I'm just gonna do my own thing. But if a man shows an empire or an investment opportunity, let's call it, as if we were accountants, for you to go, okay, like, that's a good investment opportunity for me. I'm going to use my logic and say, yeah, it's a safe bet. I see his mission. He's going in the right direction. And then you invest in that. You're then emotionally invested, which means not only do you like me more, you become more emotionally attached to me, and etc. etc. This is all hypothetical, of course.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool that you teach people how to reach girls. I've never met before a guy like that. I never knew that there's people that teach this on social media, but it's cool because you can help guys that are not confident, that don't like, they are losers. That's the word. So
it is the word, and it's easy for you to say, but it's tough out there. Guys have a lot of pressure.
It's difficult to say that, but it's true. If you can't reach a girl, if you are not doing anything with your life, you're a loser.
I mean, unfortunately, I agree with her. No, it's true. Listen, I tell you what, to be transparent, it's annoying when girls say it, because it's like,
oh,
you don't know the pain. You don't know the pain that guys are now, good guys are sitting at home watching this, investing like really lovely time. They're loving girls, they're giving energy to girls, they're buying them flowers, and these girls will meet a guy like me, and they're gone. And I'm not even talking about girls with options. I'm talking about girls with boyfriends, girls with husbands. So, I know that's like me almost admitting to being part of the problem. Luckily for me, I have rules against sleeping with girls with boyfriends and husbands, etc. But if I'm not to know, then and I'm none the wiser. I try as hard as I can not to be naive in them situations. It's hard. Imagine you're a guy, you do fairly well, you're really nice, you have a good relationship with your mom, but you can't like fight. You don't have that competitive edge. You don't have that like level of alpha inside of you. Right now, like 20 years ago, not a problem. A girl would have taken it any day. But now, because girls can see that guys are so willing to fight over them and chase them, the norm of what a woman expects is rapidly increased. And then what's happened, instead of us going as a society, whoa, they got excited, let's bring them back down. You now have small fish, small guys, that are doing everything in their power to look like that's who they are. So now you have, in reality, 1% of guys who are here, but you have like 60%, 70% of guys trying to pretend they're here, but they're not. And then girls think that 70% of guys are there, but they're not. I know we're in Colombia, which is a great example. I know American guys that are coming here spending the last dollar of their money on prostitutes and strip clubs and etc. etc. etc.
Here's like Disney,
right?
Gringos. It's insane.
And it's a great example. The girls here are like, yo, I'm a princess. No, you're not. You have lonely guys coming and throwing money at you when they don't give a fuck about you, you don't give a fuck about them, and it's pretty horrible to see, especially from a guy's standpoint. And I think the same about like webcams and some dating sites, and certainly like adult content sites. I don't want to give any credit or attention to any that we don't need to, but there are men out there, and a lot of people don't realize this, these guys that are paying into these things, they're fucked in the head. They really are struggling, and we're just putting them in a downward spiral. We're like, it's like it's the same as giving alcohol to an alcoholic, and that's what a lot of these girls are doing, that they don't realize it and avoiding responsibility for it. But definitely, as a society, the misinformation. Anyway, the solution is that girls start to understand what they really want and what they really value, because at the moment, all of the girls are trying to access the top 1% of guys that won't give you the level of loyalty, purity, and care that you want. I like find myself in a very rare position that I'm an extremely like high value man that also has a strong level of like respect for women, and I don't care to like be out every night spending money in clubs and sleeping with loads of girls. Like, in Colombia I could have like 3 prostitutes a night over for $50. I just don't really care about it, and you know, there are things more important to me. But
I know,
generally speaking, when is it that girls are going to realize that they can keep chasing, but when they become 30, 32, 33, 34, and the guys are also becoming 34, them guys are still going to be able to get 20-year-old girls.
Yeah.
But them 35-year-old girls,
no.
you're getting wrinkly, you're getting Botox, and then, you know, poco a poco, you're fucked.
If you don't take care of yourself, by the way, because I know girls that are 40. I have a friend, the girl that I video call her, Nessa, yeah. She has 34 years and she looked like my age.
But who's gonna give her children?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if she wants children, but
I would be with a 34-year-old woman. I would look at her and be like, yo, you're super cute, let's go fuck. And then when we get serious and she's like, yo, I really like you, Diego, I'd be like, okay. But in 2 years when I wanna have kids, you're gonna look like a fucking, you know, you're gonna be wrinkly, and by the time you actually pop the kids out of you, they're gonna be calling you grandma.
Luckily I am 23. I still have life to live. I wanna ask you, how you know that you can help people with this?
Like, why do I believe that I'm the person to?
Yeah.
My edge, and I truly believe this in my heart of hearts, my edge over 100% of the population, I would argue that I have this over anyone else in the world. That I'm so incredibly self-aware. I've made an extraordinary amount of mistakes in a short amount of time as well. I dedicated my life many years ago to just failing and learning and experiencing in the most strange and uncomfortable environments, and also had an incredibly addictive personality. So where I've become so very self-aware, it allows me to be very critical on the mistakes I make and on the mistakes I see in life. Like a normal person probably goes through a weekly routine and like, oh, I should have done this week and I didn't do it. On a day-to-day basis, I'm going to sleep with like 15 mistakes in my head. Like, yo, you did this today, 10 minutes late. Yo, you snoozed on this today, you forgot to do this task. You took like 3 extra seconds to get out of bed. You didn't drink enough water, you didn't do this. Like, I'm so self-aware to the extent of, I really see the capabilities that we can achieve as men. And because I've personally made so many of the mistakes, the reason I class myself as qualified is when you make a lot of mistakes and you're self-aware, you become a very intelligent human being. If you make a lot of mistakes and you're not self-aware, or you're self-aware and you don't make a lot of mistakes, so if you do one or the other, you don't gain that level of intelligence. But when you do both at the same time, you become extremely intelligent. And the proof's also in the pudding. I have guys, not only having guys on a daily basis telling me through social media, like, Diego, I implied something that you said into my life and it's completely changed my fucking life. And I'm talking about, like, I could be doing a video about, hey guys, this is how to fucking tie a knot. And people would watch that video and go, bro, I tied the knot, and then I did this, and then I got a girlfriend, and then she became my wife, and then I had 5 kids, and it's all because of you, Diego. I'm like, bro, it's crazy. But it's also very realistic, because as guys, sometimes it only takes us a shift in mind to really unlock the path to freedom, happiness, purpose, fulfillment, hard work, dedication, discipline, etc., etc., etc. So the constant level of feedback as to what guys were getting from it, and then the lessons that people were taking, and in what way people were taking lessons, just showed me exactly where this generation of men need to be led, and that I was someone to step up and lead, because not many people have the balls to step up and lead. And luckily for me, I always had balls. I was always willing to go against the what was like the normal common thing to do. As a kid, I was trouble. Yeah, there was rules. I was like, yo, let me break the rules. I'm kind of similar in my aspect of life now. I'm not a fan of rules. I'm not a fan of restriction. I believe in animalism. I think like as humans, we're still very much animalistic and need some form of psychological freedom.
Yeah.
And you know, from that aspect, I believe I have a strong leg to stand on. Listen, when we're kids, like when we're growing up, we have so much going on in our brains. So much. I mean, you're a woman, you know, you always have so much going on in your brain. You're just a chaotic, fucking, explosive minefield waiting to blow up. But as kids in general, we just have loads of like stuff fuzzing around in our brain. Emotional maturity and emotional control is the ability to like stop all of that on a fucking T.
Okay.
To stop all of it and go, I need to make an important decision right now. So can I stop all of that cloud and make the decision? And then you begin to understand how to stop the cloud. And then you slowly, by becoming extremely self-aware, remove more of the cloud, remove more of the cloud. And a lot of these clouds are emotions. So when you just release your emotions out into the world and you don't let them affect what you know you should and need to do as a man, then it's much healthier. And for me, you know, it took me a while because I'm a very emotional person, naturally a very emotional person, a very emotional kid, a very angry kid. I was a very like loving, angry, bipolar child. And now I've just turned into an extremely stoic man who's still able like to tap into what I need to tap into. But
chill, you know?
Yeah, super important. If you're a man trying to attract people into your life, you want to create a calm environment for that to be into. When a woman comes into your calm environment, she'll become so addicted to it because your brain is, as I say, consistently chaotic. And a lot of women are really never able to feel fully feminine in their life. But when a man can just create such a calm environment and you can just sit down and go, fuck, so I can be a woman.
Like be me.
I can just be a girl.
Yeah, that's right. Completely.
That a lot of people haven't even experienced in their childhood. Mm-hmm. A lot of girls right now are going through school, you know, like play fighting with guys, bullying, getting bullied by guys and vice versa, and like this. They never actually just get to be a woman. Mm-hmm. So I know for starters that I've made girls experience that for the first time, and the change is phenomenal. Like when you can have a really attractive lady and then you can put her in a feminine energy and she just sits there and goes, wait, what? I could just sit here and be a fucking woman, and Diego, you're just gonna make sure my head's calm all the time? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you're gonna communicate with me like maturely? You're gonna use real words? You're gonna look at me when you talk to me? You're gonna like, you're gonna be honest with me? What? What does this mean? How would you feel that I make the statement, like, I know women's psychology better than women?
It's crazy. It's crazy
it's
because I don't know people, guys that know psychological, like, you know.
But would you believe me if I said like, I know your psychology better than you?
No, I believe in you. I know it. Like, you don't have to say it. I notice. He knows a lot of psychology, feminist psychology. Female psychology, yeah.
Anyway, that's a little breakdown into some female psychology and some top tips for you guys. Well done, congratulations on your debut. Thank you for joining. Let's do it Paisa style. And guys, if you want to learn this not only on a more intricate level but also be held accountable for the stuff that we're talking about, I mean, we're touching the surface here. There's a masculine frame that we all need to achieve to actually go on this journey of attracting girls, the journey that I talked about, that I went on, you know, from manipulating and chasing to attracting and working and building an empire. The changes are real, and there are two types of guys. As I always say, there are guys that will sit here and scroll into the next video and probably watch something that Mr. Beast has got out, or there are guys that will take immediate action, and that immediate action is the link in the description to the premium truth community. So if you are wanting to get involved, then go and tap the link out, watch the VSL, get inside, and I'll be there to personally welcome you in.